BlackBerry once controlled the entire smartphone world. CEOs, politicians, even president used it. And then it vanished. This is the story of one mistake that destroyed everything. In the early 2000s, BlackBerry was unstoppable. It wasn't just a phone, it was a status symbol. If you had a BlackBerry, it meant you were important. Business leaders depended on it. Government trusted it. Even the President of United States used a BlackBerry. Its biggest strength? Security. And that iconic keyboard. People were addicted to typing on those tiny buttons. But more than that, people didn't just use BlackBerry, they depended on it. Emails, meetings, discussion, everything ran through that tiny device. At one point, BlackBerry controlled over 40% of smartphone market. They weren't just leading, they were dominating. Then in 2007, everything changed. Apple introduced the iPhone, a full touchscreen phone. No keyboard, just glass. At first, it didn't look like a threat. No keyboard, no business focus. Just a screen. And BlackBerry's reaction? They laughed. They believed no one would want to type on screen. To them, this wasn't the future. It was a joke. But that screen was about to change everything. But Apple wasn't just building a phone, they were building an ecosystem. Apps, user experience, simplicity. While BlackBerry focused on emails and enterprise users. Apple focused on people, regular users, everyday users. And then came Android. Now smartphones weren't just tools, they became part of people's lives. BlackBerry saw this shift, but they reacted too late. They tried to adapt, they launched touchscreen devices, but there was a deeper problem. BlackBerry believed their customers would never switch. They trusted loyalty more than innovation. But they misunderstood something very important. Technology doesn't wait for loyalty, and by the time they realized that, the market has already moved on. Their market share collapsed from 40% to almost zero. Developers stopped building their apps. Users stopped buying their phones. It didn't collapse overnight. Slowly, quarter by quarter, users disappeared. And by the time they fully understood the problem, it was already too late. BlackBerry was no longer relevant. BlackBerry didn't fail because of competition. It failed because it refused to change. They were so confident in what worked that they ignored what was coming next. And in business, the moment you stop adapting is the moment you start disappearing.